Hello, I'm Carla, and this is just a short kind of stress buster when you've had a tough day. These are just two quiet restoratives where we're going to be working a little bit into the breath. So set aside a few minutes of quietness where you're not going to be disturbed. You'll use a blanket, a strap if you have one, and also some bolsters. So we're coming to start just in a comfortable cross-legged position. If you feel any tightness in the groin, or if you're unable to sit up tall and get the sacrum lifted, if your spine is sagging and your abdomen is scrunching down, then just take a blanket to sit on. And with that elevation of the buttock bones, you maybe get a little bit more of an extension through the sides of the body, an extension through the spine. Bring the hands into the prayer position, keeping the spine lifted, chest upright and open and tall, and let the eyes close. Come to your breath. Feel how the breath moves in and out of the body. I'm going to begin today's class by chanting the 3 Oms. On the next exhalation, just drop your head down. Feel that lovely stretch across the back of the neck, the top of the shoulders. On the next breath out, release your hands into your lap. Lift your head up and open your eyes. Okay, so we're going to begin in Shavasana, but it is going to be a supported Shavasana. You want to grab a bolster. A nice, round, comfortable bolster is better than a hard, flat bolster, but use what you have. And if your bolster has a draw cord, make sure it's on the other side and it's not going to be here and sliding under your buttocks. You're going to also have a folded blanket at the top of the bolster for your head. Sitting in front of the bolster, have a little bit of space between you and the bolster, a little bit of a fist distance, so that the lumbar spine will be free and the bolster is supporting more the chest. You're going to come down, making sure that you're centered on the bolster. So line yourself up properly. Make sure that the back skin is spread. The blanket supports just the head and the neck. Lengthen the back of the neck. Let there be a quiet release from the forehead down towards the chin. As you release the legs, before you do, just release the flesh of the buttocks away and then extend the legs. So there's a little bit of a pelvic tilt that happens, that the buttock flesh isn't attached to the back waist and isn't causing a sharp bend in the back. The palms face up in a gesture of receiving. Any adjustments you need to make, either to the supports or to yourself, you do. Because once you've placed the body in Shavasana, then you're going to close the eyes and take quiet breaths here. Just feel how the breath moves in and out of the body. Each time you're breathing in, feel how the chest inflates, the abdomen lifts a little bit. Each time you're breathing out, the abdomen empties out. But because of the bolster, the support, the chest still remains quite nice and open. As the arms fall away to the floor, the sides of the chest is free, so you can breathe into the entire space of the chest. When you take your focus to the breath, automatically the breath does change a little bit. This lying down and focusing on the breath is called Ujjayi Pranayama number 1. You're just a quiet observer, listening to your breath, observing your breath, feeling the inhalation, feeling the exhalation. As you breathe in and out here, notice which is the breath that feels longer, shorter, which breath is easy, which maybe is strained. Feel the air entering both the lungs. What does it feel even? Is there a dominant lung? Feel the air in your nostrils. So it's all these little things that you're paying attention to. Familiarizing yourself with your breath. You're courting your breath in Ujjayi Pranayama 1. Getting to know your breath. How does the breath sound when I'm at ease? How does the inhalation sound? How does the exhalation sound? Do I harden and tighten my body anyway? Is my jaw, my tongue passive? Eyes closed, bringing your focus inward. Ujjayi Pranayama is the warrior breath, where your chest is proud and open like a warrior. So here the bolster is doing that for you. Ujjayi Pranayama 1 is observing the breath. You're dating, courting. And now you're going to go into Ujjayi Pranayama 2 and 3, where you start to push the boundaries, get a little bit more familiar with your breath. So Ujjayi Pranayama 2 is working on extending the exhalations. So you're taking a normal breath in, and then there's this lovely, smooth, long, extended exhalation. Again, in between breaths, you can take normal recovery breaths in and out, and then you'll go to the next cycle of Ujjayi Pranayama 2, normal inhalation, and a long, slow, steady, controlled, full, deep exhalation. There's a pause at the end of that exhalation, and you're just taking a normal breath in and out in between. One last one here. Nice inhalation, and then controlling that exhalation. Where you finish in that quiet stillness, just then come back to normal breathing. Ujjayi Pranayama 3 is increasing the inhalation. Don't go beyond your capacity. So just listen to your body, feel your body, and begin. A long, steady, controlled, smooth, deep, full inhalation. When the lungs are full, there's a pause, and then a normal exhalation. And you come back to normal breathing. So a cycle is an inhalation, a pause, an exhalation, and a pause. Once again, Ujjayi Pranayama 3. Long, slow, steady, controlled, full, deep inhalation, noticing what the throat, the jaw, the tongue are doing. Keep it still. Pause. Normal breath out. Pause. Return to normal breathing. So in Ujjayi Pranayama 3 especially, just feel that you're not hardening or being aggressive. We'll do one last cycle here. So once more, emptying the lungs, begin. Full, controlled, deep, steady inhalation. There's a natural pause as the breath turns around, and then a normal exhalation, pause, and come back to normal breathing. Ujjayi Pranayama 4 is a combination of 2 and 3, where we're going to increase and extend to our capacity the inhalations as well as the exhalations within the same cycle. You'll return to your restorative breathing at any point in time. So to begin, empty the lungs completely, and then a steady, full, deep, controlled inhalation. When the lungs are full to your capacity, you pause, and then you begin that controlled, steady, quiet, released exhalation. At the end, there's that pause when the lungs are empty, and then come to normal breathing. The whole time you're keeping your body still, especially keep tension out of the jaw, neck region, eyes closed. When you're ready to begin the second cycle of Ujjayi Pranayama 3, you're going to empty the lungs completely and begin a slow, steady, full, controlled, deep inhalation, pause, and a long, slow, steady, controlled, full, deep exhalation. Come back to recovery breaths. You want to continue here. So this is where you're now building a relationship with your Ujjayi. You're in these deep Ujjayi Pranayama 4s. The body is in a restorative state, but you're completely focused on the breath. Just continue doing cycles here. Full inhalations, full exhalations, observing the breath, listening to the sound of the breath, making sure that you're not straining or hardening or tightening anywhere, making sure between cycles to take recovery breaths. Try to keep your mind quiet and completely focused on your breath and on your body. Whichever cycle you're on, complete it. So you always end at the end of an exhalation. Come back to normal breathing. You can bring your hands to rest anywhere on your abdomen. Lazily bend up your knees. Let the feet move out and the knees just fall into each other to hold you in this quiet state easily. And then lifting your arm up, roll onto your side off the bolster. Let your shoulder and your hip be on the same level so that your spine is on the same sort of level. And now using your hand to support you, you're going to come up. We're going to use the same support that we just used for Shavasana. And you're taking your strap. If you do not have a strap, you can use extra blankets just to prop up the hips. That also works quite nicely. So opening the strap in a nice big loop. You want the knees together and the feet together also. And you putting the strap through the top of the knees, and you've got the strap end, the tail end near you so that you can hold it or tighten it when you need. Keeping the strap low down on the ankle and into this groin. Let's just tighten it so that when I open my knees out in Baddha Konasana, there's a nice support in this outer thigh region. Remember again, the buttock flesh is away. And this strap at the top here shouldn't be resting on the abdomen. You want to push it down onto the pubic bone so it's not putting any pressure there. If this strap support isn't sufficient, take some blankets. Make sure that the bolster is in the correct position. So is the blanket, back of the neck is long. Relax your arms at your sides. Close your eyes. And in the Supta Baddha Konasana position, we're going to now come to Villoma breathing. We're just going to touch on the Villoma breath. So just come to your Ujjayi breath, where you're just Ujjayi Pranayama 1, focusing on your breath, feeling your breath in this shaped body. And although we're breathing into the lungs, we're going to draw the breath up from the pubic bone for Villoma. So we're going to draw the breath up in stages before the lungs are full. You're going to bring the breath as if you're drawing it from the pubic bone to the navel and pause. And then from the navel to the rib cage, pause. And then filling up the chest to the collarbones, pausing. And then you'll release and let the breath go out. So the pauses are soft, gentle pauses. You're not forcing or hardening in any way. The throat isn't closing off. It's just a suspension of the air. So with the eyes closed, you're going to empty the lungs completely. And then when you breathe in from the pubic bone to the navel and pause. From the navel to just be at the rib cage, pause. From the rib cage to the collarbones, filling the lungs, pause, exhale completely. Take a recovery breath in and out. Take more if you need. When you're ready for the next cycle of Villoma, emptying the lungs completely, breathe in from the pubic bone to the navel and pause. Breathe in from the navel to just below the breasts and pause. From the base of the rib cage to the collarbones, fill the breath completely and pause, and then exhale and release. The inhalations and the pauses should be the same length. When you've had a few recovery breaths, go again. Emptying the lungs to begin with empty lungs and be breathing in increments. If this is easy for you, you can also add a few extra pauses. You can also, instead of just imagining the breath moving up in a central line, you can also start to expand and open the breath. So, for example, to try a cycle of Villoma again together, empty the lungs completely, and then begin. Breathe in from the pubic bone to the navel and pause. From the navel to the base of the rib cage, pause. From the base of the rib cage out to the side ribs, expand the chest, pause. From the side ribs up to the collarbones, fill the lungs completely, pause, and then exhale, release in one smooth Ujjayi exhalation. Come to recovery breaths. So in Villoma, how many sort of little stages can you breathe in without stressing your nervous system? After each cycle, take some recovery breaths. As you breathe in and you increase the amount of pauses, can you broaden as well and not just have that central drawing in of the breath? Breathing into the sides of the navel, breathing into the sides of the chest. Whichever cycle you're on, let this be the final cycle. When you've emptied the lungs completely, be here for a few quiet breaths. When you feel ready, let the eyes gently open. Bring your legs together and remove the strap. Once again, rolling onto your side, just letting the shoulder and the hips align on a sort of straight surface, and then you push yourself up. So because these have all felt really rather releasing, you may think that you don't need a Shavasana, but in all your practices, do take Shavasana. It's just a lovely time to be able to assimilate your practice, to feel what your body is feeling, physically, mentally, emotionally. So you can use the bolster underneath the knees. This is particularly helpful to keep that length in the back waist, especially if you have back issues and struggle to lie straight. Again, the blanket is supporting the head and the neck, but adjust the flesh of the back body, the shoulders, blade flesh is released down, flesh of the buttocks is released away from the back waist. Make sure the bolster is at the center back knee, so it's not too much on the thigh or too much on the calf. Heels are grounded. Once you've set your arms at your sides, close your eyes. The eyes closed. Relax and quieten the skin of the face, the muscles of the face, especially the cheeks, the mouth, the jaw. The mouth is soft and full. The lips are touching, but only just. Bottom jaw is completely released and relaxed. Make sure that your head isn't sloping back, and from the hairline down to the nose, down to the chin, there's a releasing down. Throat is soft, shoulders relaxed. As you exhale and release the neck, the throat, the shoulders, release right through from the shoulders to the fingertips. The fingers just curl into the quiet, soft palm. If you've moved the flesh of the buttocks correctly, the sacrum should be quite comfortably on the floor. And from there, you can let go the groins, the hips, right through to the thighs, the knees, the calves, the feet. Let the feet roll out to the sides. And with each exhalation, you're just releasing to Mother Earth. Being grateful for this practice and for this time that you set aside for your well-being. Start to allow your inhalation to become a little bit deeper. If you have time and you'd like to stay longer, then do. Otherwise, bring the hands anywhere to rest on your abdomen where is comfortable for you. The elbows still resting on the floor so that the shoulders are still released. And the next breath in, stretch your arms over your head. Give your body a long, deep stretch. You can yawn or sigh the breath out. Bending the knees, roll onto your right hand side. Just cradle your head in your right arm. Knees are curled into the body, and the left side is just holding you in this quiet Shavasana state for a moment longer. Feel ready, and the eyes want to open. Press your left hand into the floor. Use it to help you to push yourself up into a seated position. Once you're in a seated position, sit tall, bring the hands again in the prayer position, and close the eyes. Each inhalation, lift up the chest, put a small smile on your face, and take a moment here to give thanks for the health and strength of your body. On the next breath, then let the eyes gently flutter open and focus. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. See you next time.